Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to you here from the ESL studios in Cologne. We are into week 10 of the WGL EU Season 1 for 2015 and 2016. And after some extreme excitement last week with 12 matches over 4 days, we're now into week 10. Man, what a week it was.
It was an incredible week. I mean, Super Week was just a tiny way of describing it because it was pretty epic. Monday to Thursday, we had some great games, some great matches, and it did give us a good idea how the season's actually shaping up. And I think, you know, match day 10 and match day 11, which is of course the last match day, will, you know, just cement those fixtures. That's
right. Of course, we will be heading soon, the next few weeks, in towards our sort of relegation period and our playoffs as well. For our finals that will be held here at the ESL studios in Cologne, we'll be having our top 4 teams. Yep. We'll be representing here. It's just the one day, so it's going to be very much a quick fire affair. But very, very interesting to see which 4 teams make it into that top echelon. Anyway, last week's games, as we start to unpack that, of course, we did have a chance to recap as we went along. But this was last Thursday, and we saw here some interesting results here, of course. The ASAP DiNG one down the bottom, by the way, it was 5-1 in favour of DiNG there. So not hugely close games. We had, you know, where the Wednesday was a bunch of 5-2s, and this one here, definitely things opening up a little bit more. Some of those matches here where we're seeing teams from the top go up against teams from the lower side of the ladder.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty expected kind of day. We saw the teams which we expect to win actually walk away with those. So it was a good week. I mean, we had some good surprises in there as well. I think some of the teams have been underperforming, and they knew that they really had to step up in that Super Week, and I think they did that, so it's good.
Yeah, I mean, some teams stepped up, some teams unfortunately fell away a little bit. Of course, we did have a match of the season, essentially, between Kazda Crew and Supreme, and it wasn't exactly the most impressive performance from Kazda Crew there.
No, 5-2 victory for Supreme. I mean, I thought it would go closer, but it just turned out that Supreme were on form a lot more, and to be fair, I think a lot of people did have that match going to Supreme anyway. I mean, we all love Kazda Crew and the way they play and how well they've been doing this season, but you know, there's a couple of losses in a row now. They really need to get themselves sorted this week.
Absolutely. Now we boys have had our fun reminiscing over the games of last week. It's time to obviously welcome Melly to the desk. What a week last week was. Some intense matches over those 4 days. I mean, you were here for every single one of those. We definitely saw some highs and some lows as well.
That's true, and some upsets nobody would have had on their screens. But you saw it all here, and if you missed it, don't be sad. Head over to youtube.com/WGLEU. Subscribe to our channel, of course, to get notifications as soon as we upload new videos. Highlights, videos, recaps. Do we have the recaps online, Ollie?
There will be recaps online when the season ends. We're gonna put all the recaps of the season up on our YouTube channel.
You've heard it, so you can relive every exciting second of our season. So people, our YouTube channel, very important, and of course our Twitter and Facebook, but more to that later.
Absolutely, we will get to that, of course. For now, though, let's have a little bit of a look at exactly what transpired last Thursday in our last match day of the Super Week.
Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome to the final day of Super Week here. This is something we don't see. Well, there's the first shot at least landing towards Spoink. Second. Third. Okay, they're actually doing some fair damage to the I6s here, and they're not taking much back. Synergy know what's up here. They're doing okay.
Yeah, they're doing all right, but you know, that's the most damage they'll be able to take in that one instance, because you know, Synergy are just there and ready for a little bit of damage onto those ones.
But this is giving Synergy a window of opportunity here. The cap is continuing, and all the damage is going towards Woosa. Stefan is caught out. He's down to a one-shot. Total Best will pluck him out of that tank, and already Roofy next on the chopping board. There's no fire coming back in towards Synergy. I'm surprised we've been able to get away with this. The last 3 standing to keep Woosa in this with a chance to take the map off Synergy. Certainly one step in the right direction, taking down Corelio, but Milov going to look forwards towards Stefan. His Total Best going around the corner. He should be able to have this shot here. It should be a walk in the park. It is for Total Best. As Roofy now, the last poignant factor to be swept aside as Spoink. Total Best closes it down, and Synergy.
The tanks from Virtus Pro were sitting up that 0 line, but still that cap is getting rather low.
Guccio's down to almost a one-shot here. Just Cause could be the one to deliver it. No, he turns turret towards Stu. Leaves Catch Me. do the damage. It's Kusok to find Guccio Stu, the next on the chopping board. He is a sitting duck there right in the field, just being kicked around like a football. Now this could be trouble. Virtus Pro might just pick this up almost for free. Finally they land them towards Kusok, but look at the damage they're receiving off the back of that. HP just being absolutely decimated. Swiftly falling down. Strong down to 4.1. Virtus Pro on 5.1. 1,000 HP in their favor, and the cap still continuing just as strong. Ooh, not going to land the shots. Guccio slips through, but to be met by Kusok and Coca-Cola Sellers, Just Cause and Breakneck will be heading into position. Lucas gets one on the way as well, and this is not looking so good for Strong, not using the angle that you suggested and that we saw work so well before, and Guccio gets decimated in this one, as Bishop as well going a little low, but at the end of it, it's Virtus Pro winning out on HP and numbers now. This is going from bad to worse for Strong.
Yeah, this is really bad news. I would say this is already game over. Virtus Pro just plowing into speed.
Virtus Pro get themselves on match point. Here we go. Kenny Boy going to come in with Meritorious, and Phililea is absolutely a sitting duck. 3 tanks staring him down. This should be a clean pickup here. Mary's going to have the shell any second now. Delivers. Easy job. Sign still delivered. DiNG are ahead by a landslide. Vale, Palacin, and Insane, the last 3 standing. 5 seconds remaining. They're going to have to do it quickly. They have to get involved here. Agorni gets slowed down. 2 seconds left. They need to make this shot count, and on the last second, they just about reset it. Mary takes a shell there. I believe that was from Vale or Agorni, but that was down to the wire, and I wonder if DiNG can now withstand. They've done some great damage towards ASAP, and they're keeping this one going. The cap hasn't stopped, but it will be slowed down. Once again, Palacin leering forward, looking for a shot to be picked up. Kenny Boy in the background still doing work. Mary overextends a touch, but ASAP have the higher ground by a touch in this, but not a great deal of HP to work. But DiNG still holding on to this HP, not letting that factor go. Not going to get the kills to back it up, however. As Kusiak going to just throw himself into the action, does find Warzy, but puts himself into a crossfire of 3 tanks there. He should have the shell available, but Palacin is the one who's going to land it, surely. As the 1-point exchange goes down, leaving it in a 3v3, and actually DiNG do have the HP advantage, but Diplomat is still in this, and oh my god, he's still doing work.
That's brilliant from him, and that's exactly what they needed.
This is a very fast-paced game. Mary's going to find Agorni, put him out of his misery more than anything, so he was left so darn low. But anyway, Kenny Boy towards Dawn here. You can see Killer Kid eyeing it up as well, and one by one, chip by chip, shot by shot, ASAP are going low. Dawn will be found by Baraka, and this is looking bad for ASAP. Hotnick's going to make the most of Vale being low, out on his own on those islands, as the shots rain in. The tears from ASAP will certainly be doing the same, as they are going down so quickly here. It's been a pleasure bringing you Super Week. Hopefully, we'll see you next week.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the culmination of an epic Super Week there. What a bunch of games we did have. And as we said, you know, the plot's starting to thicken, but at the same time as well, some of these teams have done to solidify themselves on the ladder. Let's have a look at that now and get an idea of where we are going into for these games as well, if you haven't seen it on the website. And, you know, unsurprisingly, here we do see our standard high flyers up here. Virtus Pro have clawed their way back up into that top 4. Kazna Crew, after a bit of a, average performance against Supreme, sliding a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we are starting to see who will potentially be going automatically to the finals, which of course is the top 2. You can see, you know, Tornado and Virtus Pro are very close, and we'll see, you know, Virtus Pro versus Supreme this week. So that's going to be a really interesting game, and it could tell us, you know, is Virtus Pro going to go automatically into the finals in second, or is Tornado Rocks going to take that crown? And then, of course, you know, the rest of them are going to be playing for the playoffs up to 6th place. So, again, a really important match for Utopia today against Kazna. If they manage to win it, they will have a good chance to go to those playoffs and actually have a fighting spirit to go into the finals.
Absolutely. Well, let's have a look at our preview for tonight, the upcoming matches for today. The first one will be PENTA Sports going up against DiNG. And then we do have Utopia, Kazna Crew, and of course, Tornado Rocks and No Mercy to finish things off.
Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be a good set of games. I think, you know, Utopia Kazna Crew is going to be real interesting. If Utopia can perform well like they did in Super Week, I think they could actually test Kazna Crew. I think we saw some weaknesses in Kazna Crew's ability when they played against Supreme. And that could give Utopia a real chance. They have been very good this season. Of course, they're in 6th place at the moment, but they've been very good indeed. They do have a chance to win against Kazna. Yeah,
and probably important to note there as well, it's been a tricky Super Week for Utopia. They did lose both of their games. They lost to Supreme and Rock. So that was, we said, that was going to be their tougher week. They spent a lot of the season going up against some of those lower level teams, and then they really had to face up against some of the top ones. And maybe unsurprisingly, they definitely had some difficulty in that regard, and they, you know, did lose both of those ones here. But this is okay. They will sort of set themselves in the middle of that table, be in a good place, you know, to have a tilt at least at getting into the finals via the playoffs. So the opportunity is always there for them. And of course, our first match of the day is going to be Penta versus DiNG. Melly. Votes are open, of course. We've seen the maps as well. We know it's going to be Himmels, Mines, and Steps for that one. Sure, people will be wanting to get their votes in.
People aren't too sure at this time. Usually we always have the vote results at the start of the match shifting in one direction, like heavily shifting in one direction. But currently it's 52% for Penta and 48% for DiNG. So Penta's still leading, but only with a 2% marker, which is very little. But let's see how it develops over the course of a match. People, if you haven't voted yet, head over to facebook.com/WGLEU and get in your votes. The first post on our timeline directs you to our app where you can predict the exact scoreline for this matchup. Which you'll have to do is, well, vote for your team by clicking on the team logo and then predict the scoreline in the little text field below. Submit and hope for the best. And if you get it right, you might win one of 3 bonus codes, which contain 8 days of premium and 500 gold.
Absolutely. Very nice little package there for you guys for simply getting involved, of course, and getting those votes in. And of course, we love a few tweets as well. We love you guys to get involved in the conversation that we have both on and off the stream. We do like to get involved in that one as well. But let's break this one down a little bit now, Ollie. Both of these teams, 4 wins and 5 losses here. Both of these teams coming off wins in their last week of play here, both Penta and DiNG. What's your take on this one?
Well, I think, you know, they both played fairly lower teams than them. I mean, Penta obviously went up against No Mercy, managed to win that one, and DiNG went up against ASAP and also managed to win that one. You know, very convincing wins for them, 5-2, 5-1. So this is going to be definitely a bigger challenge for both of them. You know, I think this is going to be all about the maps. Himmelsdorf, typically, you know, a Penta-esque kind of map, 66% win ratio for them. But there's one anomaly in here where DiNG, they managed to win 3 out of 4 times against Virtus Pro on Himmelsdorf, which was, you know, in previous season at least, one of the strongest maps of Virtus. So
technically, it was 4 out of 5 as well, because their tiebreaker map was Himmels, and DiNG were very strong on that one.
Exactly. So, I mean, we have this situation where, okay, Penta have the better stats, but then, you know, DiNG has been able to bring some really good flair to Himmelsdorf in the past, so it's going to be an interesting match.
It's been very back and forth as well for both of these teams, very much an up and down season. And there's been a lot of speculation and talking, and even from myself and you here in our predictions and also on the desk, saying that, you know, DiNG are a team that have a lot of talent in their lineup. Some very, very big players. I mean, Kenny Boy, Perkushat, Shokish, Hulknik, all these guys are excellent players, and they're maybe not getting the results they were hoping for or some would expect from them. I mean, the tiebreaker win against Virtus Pro was fantastic. They're now coming off the back of a strong win against ASAP. But Penta, of course, did beat No Mercy 5-2. So, you know, these two teams now have had that Super Week. It's funny how a meta can almost develop in Super Week itself. When you know, a play style team can get into a rut, and they can also get themselves out of a rut as well and really start to find some form. So there's definitely merits for having all those games sort of so close together. So it'll be interesting to see the impact of that one here. I mean, there's only one way to find out here, but what we do also want to find out is Penta's thoughts on this upcoming match against DiNG.
Penta Sport is a good team with a lot of experience and interesting tactics. Even though the accuser left the team, they still can be dangerous. So just join us at Twitch and support us.
Hacky looks awfully like Hulknik, I think. We obviously got those ones around the other way. They swap shirts, yeah. Well, they probably need to swap more than shirts, to be honest. They do have the distinct features, of course. Look, it's pretty succinct there from Hulknik, as it generally is. He's not sort of making any promises of breaking necks or anything like that this time. You know, it's very much a straightforward thing for them. I'm surely there's some confidence about them in this one. Teams that have been seeing how Penta have been playing over the last few weeks must be able to smell a bit of blood in the water. You know, they must be able to see that sort of the injured gazelle at the back of the pack, as it were. You know, it's been a tough season for them, especially when we saw them in the finals in Sofia in Bulgaria. That is going back a long way now, I'll be honest. That's fair enough. But they, you know, they were a team that was once one of those top 6, top 4 teams. Have gone through some changes, and now they're definitely in like a bit of, would you agree, a bit of a rebuilding period?
For sure. I mean, Penta's gone, you know, through a lot of changes. They lost their team captain to Killzor, of course, has gone to High Voltage in North America, who just finished the season on top for Wargaming League North America, so massive congratulations to them, of course.
Begrudging congratulations to Kilzer as well.
Begrudging congratulations, but of course, you know, it wasn't about Daki, it was about, you know, the whole team and how they performed. They have some very good players in there. But yeah, they went through some restructuring. You know, of course, they were in the Season 4 finals as well. You can't remember that in 742. So I don't know. I think Penta's got a lot of work to do. They still have a good chance to get into the finals, though.
All right, now let's get the actual Penta video and see Haki's thoughts on this matchup against DiNG.
They are a new team which qualified our Silver Series, and they showed us that they can surprise us. It will be an even matchup, but if we are staying to our tactics, we will punish them for mistakes. We were not training more or less, we are trying to do our best and not ding on them.
Good one, Haki.
All right.
10 out of 10.
Okay, well here we go. I mean, Penta, we said they were sort of a lot sort of stronger, sort of way back now. A bit of rebuilding here. DiNG, they really want to solidify that position on the ladder. They really want to set themselves up in that sort of top echelon, have a good chance at these playoffs. The trick here is, though, is that we're only seeing 4 teams go through to the finals, right?
Yeah.
So Land Dragons like Kazna Crew will have to perform online if they want to make it. They need to be in that top 4. It's quite simple. So that changes things as well. It means that teams have to carry themselves a little bit further on the virtue of their online play.
Sure.
I mean, you know, would you give DiNG a shot here at making it through into those finals if they can get up on this one?
I think at the beginning of the season I did. I think now they're looking a little bit weaker. I don't know. I think it really just depends on this match. I think it's a very important match for Penta and DiNG. Possibly the most important match of the season. Obviously, we're in match day 10 out of 11 match days. So they got a lot of work to do. They're in 9th, while Penta are in 7th. So both have a chance, but hard games ahead.
Yeah, important to point out as well that Penta are on 12 points, DiNG are on 10 because there are 2 tiebreaker victories in there. So they actually have, they're both sort of 4 wins, 5 losses. So they have that sort of going for them there. These teams are evenly matched. As Haki said, you know, they have been surprised by what they've seen from DiNG in the past. You know, we saw early on the season as well, definitely some glints of something. Spoke to Kusok, tried to speak to Sheepa as well from Rox. And
doesn't speak English, so.
No, not at all. Not a word. But the general feel was that, you know, DiNG definitely can bring more than what they've shown. But let's have a look. We're going to jump into the first map, ladies and gentlemen. It is none other than Himmelsdorf.
Himmelsdorf, a small city map. The teams start the battle in opposite corners. Both bases are located close to each other, but in a way that you can't stay on the defensive all the time. The main attack routes pass through the hill, the alley and the railroad. Heavy tanks with powerful guns run the show here. However, much depends on the light tanks. Usually they go for the base capture.
The last 2 outings for Penta and Himmelsdorf were 2-2 against Synergy, and it was a fairly decent performance as well in their last on the Super Week here. So they're looking all right here. Let's see what they can do here on the attacking side. DiNG are in the red. They are defending.
Yeah, they Penta are definitely in the driving seat in this one. I think, you know, this is their map. This is the one they can actually do some damage to DiNG, and they know they can. So they just got to keep their confidence up and, you know, win these 2 attacking rounds. Now, looking at the lineups, I mean, Diplomat playing his kind of signature tank, the Waffentrager, the Waffle Tiger. So, I mean, he's a beast in that tank. He's done so much damage. He's really carried his team in a couple of games. So, really not that surprising. Other than that, just both teams picking mixtures of 5100s and IS3s, as you would expect. As, well, looks like Penta are heading up that right side. You know, when they're on the defensive side, they like to play to the 1 to 3 line, and it goes for the same on the attacking side, just along that 8 line.
Oh, well, Penta have done fairly well to get up this far without taking any damage here. It is, in part, of course, due to DiNG being set up on the western side of the map. It was Raven just taking a cheeky shot from Rakar there, watching that D line, and DiNG have to respond to this. You can see they're pulling back in towards position here. Penta will start up the cap here. Very, very standard start for them. 5100 on the A line as well to get those shots in. Percussion is game enough to poke his head out that little hidey hole here. And DiNG, it's up to them to make their move.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great start for Penta. They basically didn't waste any time. I mean, we're not even 2 minutes into the match, and they're already putting pressure onto DiNG. You can see Percusiat in that pretty standard position in A5, just getting the resets into Fluky's tracks. But he's playing the IS3, so he can't 100% guarantee himself that he'll get the resets every time, as it does look like Hacky is going to be the main kind of focus here for Penta to get the cap on the way now. You can see DiNG, they have the T32, so they can actually put that hole down in the middle area. So it's really going to be about new multi-show, the dead zone in D8, D9 to actually provide good covering fire for his team that is capping.
Penta Sports investing heavily in Hacky here. You can see he's backed up right against the wall. Raging Potato even moving across just to get a little bit side on and let Hacky get on towards that cap. And Fluky will be watching his rear. And he's going to have to, because Stoik and Rakar are going to come around the corner. Messi and Raven are there though, and Stoik is sent packing with 2 shots straight in towards him. Now Mr. Rakar has to step up now and have a crack. And he does go towards Fluky. Not able to connect. This is a good setup here for Penta, but it is shut down here. Hacky did take some damage. So did Raging Potato up the front there on the cap. And Penta is going to have to grind this one through. No smoke and mirrors here, just old-fashioned takes.
And you've also got Shockish on the hill as well. That's a very important factor to keep in mind. And actually, DiNG were playing very, on the back lines very carefully, very cautiously. So they didn't actually go into the sights of the dead zone is 5100. So actually, this is going okay for them. You can see their HP still in the favor of Penta because they are set up around the corners.
Percusiat getting a little bit too cheeky there, pushing right up, and Fluky will put a shot in towards him. And we can see, obviously, the T37 of Shockish set up there, just trying to do some damage. Hasn't been successful so far. And that 5100 is about to push around the corner there at A6 and A7. Look out for that one now as Penta come forward. Meritorious now. Going to get a bit of a bounce, but Raging Potato will finish the job. Percusiat is also low, and Hacky's quite happy to try and be a part of the fight as well. Any damage that he can soak up is a bonus, but there's the double kill. Hulk Dick and Percusiat combining nicely onto those Penta tanks here, and DiNG start to nose out in front just a little bit. Hacky, though, will contribute. Take down Percusiat. Messick has 2 heavies to deal with. He will drop down, but new multi-show. He's fully loaded. He's ready for a fight. And I think, and there's Fluky as well, is close by. Dead Zone also has a couple in the chamber, and Shocky's just trying to harass him from behind. Great work from him. Now it's forcing New Multi-Show to respond to this one, and it's missed his first shot. Shockish will back around the corner. New Multi-Show has to turn around his turret. That's going to be hard for him here. Shockish will keep him busy, and we have the 4v4.
This is really close, actually. I mean, Hacky's doing great work keeping his team in the game, and New Multi-Show's basically done nothing because he just got completely locked down by the T37 of Shockish. You know, that T37 on the hill just really provides a great extra dimension, and DiNG were very, very well aware of where Penta wanted to go, so it's going good for them.
Fluky attempting a side scrape there, but actually showed his rear. That's the one big no-no on that IS3. He's forced to sort of back in now, and Hacky has to deal with a fair bit of attention here. He's going to get taken out. Fluky now has to deal with these two. The Dead Zone is still on reload right now. We can't do much, and there's Diplomat as well coming up from behind. Penta are going to get jumped on here. It looks like they've just pitted out, just sort of run out of gas before the finish line. And, well, the Dead Zone making a token attempt to attract some attention by sitting on that capture point, but he is in deep trouble with only 308 points of health left, and there is that T37 of Shockish out for blood. We'll be looking for him as well. The Dead Zone really has nothing to do but to front up and face the music.
Yeah, I mean, this is game over for sure. He's the last one to go down, and it will be DiNG actually picking up that first round. I mean, a very close game. I think it was totally even. Both of those teams could have won it pretty much throughout until those final closing minutes. I think, you know, Penta made a few critical mistakes. I think, namely, New Multi-Show getting taken down, really without doing anything, just sitting in the middle, not being aware of where Shockish was in the T37. So, you know, I think some mistakes from Penta definitely cost them dearly. I don't think they were aggressive enough. I think they were a little bit too passive, and they just didn't find any tanks to kill. And, you know, Rakar did a great job, 2,000 damage in his T32. Percusiat as well, he's been the highest damage dealer consistently for DiNG throughout the season with 1.9k, and only really Fluky, who's been, you know, rather quiet this season, you can say, for Penta, hitting almost 2,000 damage.
That's right. You can see this is, you know, New Multi-Show that's set up here. This is where the IS3s of Penta, though, sort of grouping up here on this push. Meritorious and Percusiat holding really nicely here on this northern cap. And they do that to sustain through a lot of damage. Stoik and Rakar from the backside as well do a heck of a lot of work, and it really feels like the 5100s of Penta just failed in this game.
Yeah, they did no damage. I mean, New Multi-Show is way too slow. He's sitting back. He should be helping Messick. I mean, Messick's doing a pretty good job 1 versus 2, but he just doesn't have the support. I think, you know, okay, like the Dead Zone was on the hill at the first to try and, you know, provide some cover for his team that were defending, that were trying to cap. But then you had Holtnik, who locked him down. Holtnik won the exchange. He had like 700, 800 HP. The Dead Zone about 300. So immediately you have 250, 100, which are just no damage at all. Of course, that French tank is your main damage dealer in games. So you really have to have it in the right positions and not get it locked down like it was. Absolutely.
You bring in your IS-3s as that first line, and you always bring up that 5100 a little bit later on as that sort of secondary, force of front-loaded damage, bringing in there to try and really swing the fights in your favour. New Multishow had to pay attention to Shockish in that T-37. He was too low to ignore him, and he missed that first shot. He's spending time swinging that turret around. Well, not a great scenario for him at all here. So DiNG, with that first round here, Penta, the setup was good, the execution was lacking. Let's see if they can change things here.
Yeah, so I think, I think it's like Himmelsdorf, it's always going to be the battle of the T-37s. Whoever can come out the best. I think both of these two played well. Let's see if there's any changes from Penta. This time they are going for that hill. They're not going for the 8-line push like they did in the previous matchup. As for DiNG, pretty much the same start for them as well. Like to push that 1-3 line pretty aggressively. Put the T-32 in the best hold-down position they can find, and the IS-3 in similar fashion in A4, B4 area. So let's see if Penta can actually be a bit more responsive, a little bit quicker to the mark. I think that's what they lacked. Some volition, some steady head, just to say, okay, guys, you need to push in there. They're a little bit segregated, I guess you could call it, but this is a very strong push from the hill.
They are committing all of their tanks to this push here, so it might just be that YOLO straight down the hill here, and DiNG not spotting any of them yet. We'll have a lot less time to respond to this, especially with an IS-3 down in K1. A heck of a long way away from the fight, and Stoic is going to be trundling towards this engagement. It's going to take him some time. Penta still not spotted, still pushing down that hill under the cover of that fog of war aspect, as it were. Raging Potato sets up here, shot towards Percutia on the move, won't connect. And he was lit up for all of Penta here as they move as a unit here. They don't want to get split up. They don't want to get segregated, like you said, in that last map. But they do decide to split here. They're going to work through and across from this eastern side. And that 5100 in the north is in position. Hacky will be the man to move forward first.
So Penta basically just getting in the same position as they did last round. I mean, of course, you've got two options when you want to push into the cap. You've got the 8-line, which is a little bit more risky. I think Penta received like 400 damage on the cross. This time they get in there with about a little bit like 30 seconds later, but still they've got plenty of time even for Himmelsdorf. The cap's on the way via the Dead Zone and Hacky, so there's actually 3 tanks in the cap, which speeds it up considerably. So it really does depend, again, how the exchanges around the corners go, how, Diplomat doesn't know Waffentrag, if he can actually be in the game this time, and just a general skill and the ability of the IS-3 players.
The problem is now Fluky, he does have that sort of a pike nose, but facing towards Stoic, it's actually a flat surface, so it's really easy to penetrate in the side as well. It's going to slow up that capture period now back up towards 20 seconds. Raven, though, and Raging Potato are trying to punish Stoic for brazenly poking around that corner to get the reset. And they do. They take him down to half health, and the cap does continue. 5100 in the north as well. Going to keep that ticking down, but Flicky takes another hit.
Yeah, this is really interesting, actually. Penta aren't like showing all their cards right now. They got the Dead Zone in A6, A7. Last time he actually peaked against Holtnik, so if he can just stay there and not get spotted. Of course, once you're in 50 meters of a tank, you get automatically spotted. It's going to be great for Penta. They're really going to be able to unleash him. He does now get spotted, and Holtnik's going to go for the exchange.
Yeah, down to towards 3 seconds is a lot of time, actually, if you're a defending team. It's enough to reset it completely. And Percusiat does take down Hacky, that ace in the hole for Penta Sports in terms of their capture progress. And now the Dead Zone is going to go very, very low. We knew he'd suffer for that one. And the Holtnik is going to be more than happy to duel him out. He only gets down to half health as well, so it's fairly favourable exchange for him. And the health pools are very, very close here.
That was really bad exchange for Penta. I mean, they had New Multishow and the Dead Zone, 2 of the best players from Penta, peeking that corner, ready to exchange. The Dead Zone's way too slow on the mouse, surprising because he's supposed to be a Counter-Strike player, and he doesn't manage to get the exchange, and now New Multishow will probably fall.
Oh, yeah, the one shot left, and Shockish will get taken down, but that's 3 shots from that 5100 used just to take down the T-37. And Penta, they're running out of time. Options, all resources available to a World of Tanks player. They are in a serious deficit of it, as Messig and Raging Potato are now going to have to face 4 tanks, as well as Diplomat from the back. A big 840 damage hit towards Messig, and that is going to put one big nail in the coffin here for Penta. DiNG with a very convincing performance here. New Multishow, again, often in this position. As a 5100 player, if things go wrong, you'll often find yourself on your own here trying to reload up. There is nothing he can do to influence this one now. Penta on the attacking side, they had to complete the capture within the allotted time, and even Diplomat has some time. He's got the big gun on the Warsig as well. He's going to be looking for that last kill. That's a lot of damage from him as well, almost 2,300 on that Borsig.
Yeah, great play by Diplomat. I mean,
that was cute from him on the show.
The Borsig is really a patience tank. If you don't, just treat it with some respect and don't treat other tanks with respect, you're going to get taken down very quickly. Of course, it's got paper armor. It's a glass cannon. It's the definition of a glass cannon. And even HE of the IS-3 in the 5100 can penetrate it. So you've really got to be careful. I think Diplomat's your man. I think he played very well. I mean, he's no Pecutiat, but he definitely does his job. He was definitely the highest damage dealer as well, 2.2k. Just letting his IS-3 take the damage, and then he goes around the corner, he makes the shell, he gives his IS-3s the ability to finish the other tanks off, so we can actually see how that managed to work out for him in this clip.
Well, let's have a look at this first push here. This is probably the most critical one here. This is actually after Penta were chunked down considerably here. So you can see now, look at where the tanks are set up, and that tells you a lot about their initial setup. They really never got much closer than that 6 line in their push across. They just tried to be cheeky with the cap, and it didn't work out for them.
No, I mean, this is already game over for Penta for sure. I mean, again, I think there was some just bad exchanges for Penta. They got themselves on the cap, but DiNG were just allowed to go around the corners and do so much damage. And then you had that situation where Penta were like, okay, new multi-show wasn't useful on the 8 line, let's pop him on the hill where the dead zone was last time. But then those two couldn't even take down Hulknik. Hulknik got that first shot off, which means, in the numbers game, if you got the first shot, you're almost always going to win with a 5100, even if it does manage to get high rolls on you. So I think Dead Zone had to be quicker on the trigger. And New Multi-Show had to be a little bit more flexible and faster to actually help him out. So I think, again, it was a problem with the 5100s and just not being able to punish DiNG, not taking out any of their tanks. Getting them low, yeah, sure, but not being able to actually finish them off.
Is this a critical strategic failure for Penta here? Is fundamentally their approach flawed, or is it the execution that's really letting them down here?
I think there's some. There seems to be some cobwebs in Penta's play right now. But I think they're playing. I think they're doing okay. I definitely don't see them losing every single round on Himmelsdorf. DiNG are playing very solidly, very standard stuff from them. They know how to play those set plays around the corners and how to defend that standard northern cap for which Penta was of course going for. But now we've got the switcheroo coming in. Penta now on the defense, DiNG on the attack.
Well, Melly, we're just about to jump into this one here, but votes flying thick and fast. And again, Penta making us a little bit nervous about them here. 0-2 already. It's not a great start.
Still slightly in favor with 1%. So it's 51%. There is no favorite in this game so far because both teams are pretty balanced and people get involved. Vote on Facebook. Use the hashtag WGLEU over on Twitter to tell us what's on your mind or what do you predict for this matchup.
Well, I mean, Carmen was 50-50 on this one as well, so it looks like the community following him. 50-50 was his call here, but Penta, they're doing it, Ollie. We've seen this one a couple times here.
I love it, man.
It's the big man rollout, Hacky in the top 2.
It's a boat. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. We'd be super surprised and disappointed if they don't release this for World of Warships. I think it would be an absolute beast. I mean, the Yamato has absolutely no chance. Bismarck has no chance. Tirapitz has no chance. Iowa has no chance. None of them have any chance. I mean, I think this is going to be the first submarine ever released for World of Warships if they do get released. Actually, one of our most popular YouTube videos is, I think it's Evil Panda Squad picking a TOG or a couple of TOGs.
I saw one game in the WGLEU with 2 TOG lineups, I reckon, a couple of seasons ago, before I joined, or in season 3 on Himmels.
Something like that, season 3, season 5. But the funny thing is, I was playing the Japanese tanks last night. They just released a 9.10. Man, they're beasts. They're massive. They're even bigger than the TOG. I mean, not as long, but they're bigger. And I honestly I do expect to see them in the Wargaming League. I mean, the gun on the tier 6 does 710 damage.
Crazy.
150 penetration and 900 damage when you use HE. So as a tier 6, that's brilliant for these city maps. Absolutely fantastic. And it can definitely replace like the KV2, which we saw quite a lot.
All right, Meritorious setting up here for a bit of side scrape action, and the shot comes towards Hacky. There's no way. I mean, he's not going to block any shots with the armor on the top 2. He's just going to soak up some damage here. So giving Fluky a bit of time to get some responsive shots here. Hacky is literally cannon fodder. That is his role right now. And you can see that. Oh, Meritorious is taking a bit of damage.
He bounced something. It's 150 damage.
He's had a go as well.
Mary just got outplayed by Hacky in his TOG 2, but yeah, fair enough.
Okay, so they literally trade the TOG 2 for a bit of damage on Meritorious. Worth or not worth?
Well, they always knew it was going to go down. I mean, the thing is, they don't have the T-37 or the AMX-12T in the case of DiNG, so they have less flexibility around the map. For instance, you know, they can't go up the hill, but they can sit in the cap. You know, the cap is absolutely great. They can just sit hull down. They can use it as a hull down kind of piece of scenery, and it's going to make it very hard and very difficult for DiNG to actually dig them out of these locations. Yeah,
and you can see Fluky set up watching that top line here. So, you know, if DiNG want to make that attack towards the north, they cannot utilize the A line. They cannot push a 5100 on there. They cannot work on that because Fluky and Raging Potato are going to be able to hold down behind the hull of that TOG and to still work here. So Taki literally bring that tank here as a piece of scenery, as, you know, some cover. Not really trying to do work with his gun, not really trying to, you know, like control parts of the map per se. He just wanted to die. Brilliant.
I like it. I mean, you do the same with the T-37 as well. I mean, a very common tactic on the Himmelsdorf defense is to put a T-37 where Raging Potato is, and then, you know, it gets killed, and you can use the back of the tank as a hull down piece of scenery. So, I mean, it's a pretty common tactic. The TOG's just bigger, and, you know, I don't know, it's definitely able just to provide more cover and, you know, all those good things. So DiNG is now kind of scratching their heads, really wondering what to do. I mean, it's a lot easier to defend in general as a kind of like mindset in World of Tanks, I guess. Yep. But it does seem to be revolving around Shockish. So we really got the whole of DiNG just waiting until Shockish probably gets into A1, maybe starts to actually pester Messig in the IS3. Won't be able to really do much against him, but you can see they are starting to mobilize. All right, Raven, the dead zone only multi-show. This time, these two 5100s on the defensive side are in position already. They are there to put the shots down. Oh, why would you move right now? Oh, good lord. The dead zone going to be able to miss that shot there. Raven will be able to put one towards Percushiat, but mid-maneuver, the dead zone not able to get his bit of damage across the line here. This could be dangerous for PENTA. They're pushing into a big setup for DiNG here. If they go around this corner, it could be curtains for them. Oh, this is going to be really bad for them. They're going to take so much damage as well, but they do exchange well. You've also got Message on the side, but Meritorious takes care of Raven as he is the first blood. He is the first one to go down. Well, I mean, PENTA are up in health. I'll give them that one there. The dead zone only multi getting a couple shells off each. Such a risky push around that corner. If DiNG were ready for them in any way, shape or form, truly ready that is, they would have sent them packing. But have a look at the damage done. Murakar, super low. Percushiat, 391 health. Even Meritorious takes a big hit. PENTA are ahead in health points here, and that rather risky push around the corner, the trade was good for PENTA. Yeah, it was good. I mean, the thing is they do have a gun out of the game, but Fluky and Raging Potato are in a good position, but did get saved by a below average damage. But there's a problem again. PENTA aren't exchanging well. Like, both of them missed their shells. That just can't happen. Raging Potato completely fluffed that shot. He completely whiffed towards Diplomat. It's a Borsig pushing around a corner at the front, and he took no damage for it. He got his big shot out and he got to back away. That is like the ideal situation if you're ever playing that tank. It's a super risky move, and it paid off for him. It maybe shouldn't have. PENTA have to punish DiNG for this stuff. This, you know, this upstart kind of play. There's very cheeky, you know, maneuvers from them here. I mean, they've got to make them pay here. Now down 8 seconds on this cap. The dead zone being tracked away. He won't be able to get up towards the front lines very quickly. Stoik gets a finish on him now. Fluky comes forward. The reset comes in here. Oh, the Borsig, he gets his shot down, and Fluky will drop. New multi-shot on Raging Potato now moving across. They get a 2-shot as well. And Messig still doing work on towards Shockish on the other side of the map. Flexibility now not available for DiNG, but it's only 3 tanks up for PENTA. DiNG with 5, and Hulknik now going to respond towards Raging Potato, and he's going to roast him up nicely. Yeah, New multi-shot just roasted Raging Potato, just blocked him, couldn't get out. I mean, to be fair, like, it was either Raging Potato die or him. To be fair, I would have 100% died because Raging Potato is reload. I mean, he's playing a single shot tank. Nimotcho have to wait 50 seconds. He was no way he was going to survive that, so he just gave away a bit of damage for PENTA, but it's going to be a loss anyway. I mean, they lost Raven way too early on. They lost the exchanges, and just not playing on an individually high skill basis, and I think that's really punishing them right now. Messig, who was playing on the side, technically should have done more damage, and I think, you know, the double 5100 stack, it's good around the corners, but only if you're waiting around the corners, not if you push them. Interesting stuff here. The cap is completed, and DiNG will get the victory here as Messig in no position to try and contest or reset or really do anything but sit from a distance and watch as his team drops yet another round. 0-3 here. And this is DiNG. This is DiNG playing. It doesn't have to be spectacular. It doesn't have to be special. Nope. They're just playing some solid World of Tanks here. PENTA are always that team that tries something a bit different, and I like that. I really do. Yeah, I do as well. The TOG idea was good. It had its merits. It's, you know, it's 1,400 hit points there that, you know, you can sort of soak up some damage, and then you can sort of hang around later as that sort of hull. But again, we saw, you know, DiNG adapted. They sort of
just worked their way around a little bit here. And they got the win over against Penta. I mean, what's your thoughts on that one? Where was the turning point here? Because we saw Penta got that very cheeky push around the corner, and it worked out. Things were looking good.
I don't know. I mean, they lost Raven. That's the thing. I don't know. The thing is, they have the double IS3s up in A7, which are like, it's good. You know, they're using the tog, they're using that hull. Fair enough. But then I think because there's only Murakar and Kushiat to actually peak, Penta think it's like a 3 versus 2 situation, but it isn't. And you can see Messig as well makes it 4-on-4, but there's 5 tanks of DiNG around the corner. Raven just gets absolutely punished. He puts his front track around the corner, so also gets perma-tracked. And yeah, okay, they managed to get some damage with new multi-show in the dead zone. They get 2 shells each. 1 shell for... 2 shells for new multi-show, 3 shells for the dead zone. It's good damage, but you can't lose an IS3 like that. And I think that was a big turning point. You know, you had Holtnik doing, again, 2.2k, good play for him so far in these 3 matches. Messig's doing 1.7k, you know, he was peaking those corners. I think what they should have done is had a 50-100 where Messig was, so he can get the damage around the corners. He could be the one just to, you know, run around, poke, have a little bit of fun, try and get in the back of DiNG, as opposed to having Messig, which is just a slow IS3, which kind of got locked down by Shockish in many respects.
Important to point out as well, and to note, if you saw the minimap in that last replay, Fluky and Raging Potato were still sitting on that cap. They were hanging around by the sort of the dead tog, and there was no one really contesting them. There was no immediate threat from them. They couldn't have known this. But there was 2 IS3s there that couldn't have been, that weren't involved in the main fight. That push around the corner. I mean, if it was with 5 IS3s, or who knows what could have happened there. Those 2 IS3s weren't able to contribute there, and I mean, Penta were even on health points and two tanks down. So, you know, they were just, they're getting focus fired so hard by DiNG and just got completely shut down. I mean, one last chance here, ladies and gentlemen, for Penta to get around on Himmelsdorf. This has not been a good performance. And to be fair, when we go on to Mines, I mean, there's not great the record for Penta either. Their last performance, I think, was 0-4 to Virtus Pro on that one. Not good. So they have to pick up some rounds here, at least this one, Ollie. Yeah, they really do have to start putting some rounds on the board. I mean, as I said, throughout the whole of Super Week last week, no team has come back from a 4-0 deficit, a 4-0 scoreline. So it'll be very unlikely for Penta to break that rule and, you know, come back to win 5-4. They'd have to win 5 rounds in a row. It was just insane. So Penta need to put 1 on the board at least here on Himmelsdorf. They've been playing pretty passively, setting up very defensive roles, even on the attack. So let's see if they actually be more aggressive. They take the fight to DiNG. We have not yet seen that complete reverse sweep in the WGL this season. It's a big job to do. Let's see what Penta can do here. They have to start here, getting around here. Teams have won from being 1-3 down, and it's a very interesting setup here for Penta on this 8 line here. All of their tanks sat back in the corner. They're anticipating a push here, but none has come. And DiNG are going to back up down the hill. Did DiNG spot them out here? Why are they pulling off the hill? I think Shockish was just... I think he just came off... just was spotting the A0 line. The 0 line, and just didn't see anything there. Maybe it's just an instinct from DiNG, and also, you know, Shockish was just driving around the top of that hill. Didn't spot anything in the middle, also the C line. So, you know, you had a situation where DiNG were like, okay, so where can Penta be? Probably just below us, or in a place where it's not normal to set up. All right, DiNG now moving back over towards the southern side of the map, towards the church here, where the old capture points used to be in 742. Now going to head towards that western side in a moment here, at least. They're going to find a T-37 of Hacky there, and that will be all at the moment. Penta will have to respond to this here, and getting himself up in his corner, staying for so long, even after not spotting anything here. They seem so confident that DiNG are going to be pushing that 8 line, but DiNG have shown absolutely no inclination to go in that direction whatsoever this round. Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, DiNG have just completely left that side alone. I mean, the thing is, if you don't go up the 8 line, if you go up the hill and then you decide to go down the hill again, there's no way you're going up the 8 line, because you're basically getting the same positions on the map anyway. So, I mean, clearly that western side is really where they want to go. It's an absolute counter to where Penta are. DiNG can literally sit in the cap right now and win like that. I mean, you can see Penta are very aware now where DiNG are coming from, so they are starting to react, and if they do it quick enough, they still have a chance to win. As you can see, Hacky, because he took crew rations, the cola, and the extra fuel, no fire extinguisher at all, only has a repair kit, so that hurt him badly. The capture has begun here. We can see the Penta are trying to get in position, but they're still so grouped up over on that D line they're going to be slow. They're going to be real slow making their way across. And now DiNG can have their way with the dead zone and Raging Potato here. It's an overmatch if I've ever seen one. DiNG can set up here. They don't really have to poke. They don't have to be aggressive. They don't even have to really start the cap. We'll get too aggressive about it here, but still, Shockish is on there now. Meritorious isn't contributing. He's off towards the side here. These tanks now going to be going head-to-head. Stoic is going to be poking that corner at a very flat angle for his tank there, so he has to be careful. Shots will come towards him, and Messig is trying to move through the field. It looks like Penta are trying to just get a flank, or at least trying to get around DiNG here. The decent setup for DiNG as Makar takes a big hit.
Yeah, I mean, Messig is in a good position. Fluky and Penta are exchanging, and to be fair, this is okay for Penta. They really are, you know, able to pester DiNG, and the biggest problem, of course, will be getting the consistent resets, because at the moment, Mr. Akar is sitting in the middle. He needs to get a couple of shells towards him, and Penta need to be careful about this cap.
Fluky has to connect these shots, and he hasn't. He's going to wait another reload cycle to get a reset on this cap. And it's actually Meritorious sitting on there right now. Of course, they do have Shockish is ticking up those points now down to 13 seconds. It's 75% of the way through. Not connecting these shots. They have to. 7 seconds left now. And Penta starting to sweat, starting to get a bit nervous here as they push straight down. There's a decent reset, but Raven has to go really aggressive here in towards his IS-3s. It's going to be 3-on-3 IS-3s here. The Borsig trying to get in position as well from his Diplomat. Can he make it happen? As Stoic goes down, Meritorious goes down. There's the responding shot from Diplomat. It hits and it hits hard, but it's not enough to take down Raven. Hulkney responds though on towards Messig, and now the dead zone and Raging Potato. They're getting involved in this fight as well. Ricard down to a one-shot. Shockish, definitely a one-shot. Bakushat is low as well as he tries to push forward aggressively towards the dead zone. He is on reload. The shots are coming in towards his cap now. Responsive fire, good out from Diplomat here as he takes down Raven. It's a very, very close one here. It's got to be close. It's a 4v3 situation here. Penta have the tanks. It's that extra tank, the extra gun is seriously going to be able to do work. But Diplomat has been doing just that. He should be able to get the finish on Fluky here. No, he doesn't connect, and he's forced to back around that corner and await further instruction.
And that's a problem with that heat ammo. It just doesn't always penetrate the IS-3. It definitely struggles to go through that one. So let's see what happens. I mean, at the moment, this is going pretty good for Penta. I would say it has to be a win in the bag for them because, you know, they got more tanks in the game, more HP in the game even. They're in better positions, and they're on the defensive side, so they can just sit back and wait for DiNG to come to them.
Diplomat can reverse this health point deficit with one shot. Just one shot is all it takes here. He just needs to stay safe while taking it. You can see where he's looking, right at that corner where Raging Potato was, that little tracer coming up there to demonstrate that. Hulknick is off reload. He is ready to go here. 6 in the chamber, hoping to connect every single one of those here to bring things back for DiNG, and even Diplomat pushing forward aggressively here. Got to be careful. He's moving up through the field, and there's a fair shot on towards Raging Potato. It does connect. Hulknick has to be careful, but there's a shot. No, he can't go for the finish because the dead zone picks him up, and now Diplomat and Bakushat have to group up here near, of course, that hangar. And have to make it work with 2 versus 3. Remember, Diplomat can get the finish onto Raging Potato. All he has to do is push on this one. But we can see Penta, they've already sent one of their IS-3s away. Diplomat takes the first hit as he pushes around the corner of the dead zone. We'll be able to finish him off if Diplomat can't get away. He can. That shot just screeches across the front of his tank. Now is able to avoid that one, but time is ticking down. 45 seconds left in the game, and there is an IS-3 a long way away from the action. We can see, well and truly, oh, it was a 5100, sorry, I think, yeah, New Multi-Show has absconded, as usual. It'll be very, very hard to catch him here if DiNG want to bring the round in their favour.
Yeah, it's going to be impossible, basically. The dead zone should exchange well here. He can't even, you know, be a one-shot for that Borsig. The AP ammo just going straight through the AMX 5100, but not quite doing enough. It will bring him down to a one-shot for Bakushat, whilst Bakushat has a 2-shot for the dead zone, so this could be a good exchange for DiNG, but it just won't be enough.
No, that's right. Bakushat will push around. He'll probably take a shot. No, he doesn't. And the dead zone drops. So now with 10 seconds left in multi-show, the Polish superstar for Penta Sports, definitely hyped up a lot before this season, has sometimes performed, sometimes not. It's been up and down for him, but this time he's done his job. Sometimes in World of Tanks you do need to back away in order to fight another day, and Penta have done that. They've kept themselves in this one here, 3-1 after Himmelsdorf. I mean, yeah, not a great performance from them. They managed to bring back that one round. God knows they needed it.
Yeah, exactly. They desperately needed it round, and you could see they really played for it. I think the individual play was there this time. Penta, because they were set up in the 8 line, they could just go straight down through the map and set up well for the defensive side. Really quick reaction from them. They started reacting basically instantly as soon as Haki actually got shot and spotted the tanks from DiNG. And then they managed to get Fluky, Messig, and the other IS-3 just right next to the cap, exchange well, get those IS-3s down to 1-shots, and then push in at the last moment, kill the IS-3s, shoot Shockish, kill Shockish, and it was game over.
Yeah, the cap wasn't able to be quite completed there again. It was a decent setup, though, here by DiNG. Got to give them that. They pulled off the hill. They weren't really willing to commit to that one. You can see here on the replay, this is when those 3 IS3s, as Ollie mentioned, start to get into the fight.
Yeah, they're all one-shots now, which makes it super convenient for 3 IS3s just to take 3 IS3s down. So Hulknick in the AMX 5100 did as much as he could. I think he should have been a little bit more forward and aggressive, and actually, really exchange for Fluke, really try and take down Fluky or Raven, because currently Raven's basically safe. Diplomat does dispatch of him. And by the way, Diplomat did 3,000 damage in his Waffentrager this match, but he was really the only one to do any damage. So it wasn't quite enough to bring his team a win, because of course the new multi-show was up that hill.
7 shots fired, 6 connections and 5 penetrations, so it's not too bad at all from the man there on that one, but it wasn't quite enough here. But it has been enough. Melee, of course, Penta have managed to bring things back here. 3-1. Fans breathing a small sigh of relief now as we head into Mines, of course, is our next map here. What are your thoughts on the votes here?
Well, the votes are still around 50 to 50.
Okay.
So 51 for Penta, 49 for DiNG.
Sure.
And the most voted scoreline is actually 5-3. So there is a slide. There's still hope left in the eyes of the community for Penta to bring it back on the 5-3. But, I mean, a team never recovered from a 4-0 deficit on the first map. How many teams roughly had managed to get the win after 3-1 defeat on the first map?
Quite a few. I mean, it's really common, because we've basically seen 2 maps at the moment, Ruhenberg and Himmelsdorf, because they're the maps which people have played for like 3 or 4 seasons. So, I mean, like that 3-1 scoreline, it often is the first map. You go 3-1 because it's not your map pick, and then you come back, you play your map, and then you win 4-0, or you go 3-1 up. So
sadly,
it's pretty common.
The second map is Mines, and it was DiNG's choice to start on the attacking side, which makes it really, really hard for Penta at this point. So people, you still have time to get your predictions via our Facebook app. Head over to facebook.com/WGLEU and get involved. Vote for your favorite team by clicking on the team logo and predict the exact scoreline in the text feed below. Send it off and hope for the best. Currently, as said, the most voted ending is 5-3, so maybe you want to go with another one to get your chance on a bonus code, because the 3 first correct predictions, of course the fastest, will considered amongst the winners. And I've heard that we have something sent to us, of course, via Twitter, by using the hashtag WGLEU, to which I'll invite you as well. So send us everything, tweets, pictures, Ollie's face photoshopped on something nice.
Yeah, just remind them again.
Of course. I don't have to remind them. They know it.
They do already. It's fine.
We just need to find the right opportunity. But yeah, as you said, people are getting involved on Twitter here. Of course, Imprez is a very frequent viewer and always getting involved.
And we love him and his art.
I'm a fan of him. This one here pretty much sums it up, I think.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has a little bit of a joke about the targets. It's my favorite tank.
Is it really?
Is it?
Yeah, one of my favorites.
You sure you want to say it out loud?
Hey man, it's everyone's favorite tank.
It's my favorite boat, I won't lie.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a vessel. It is majestic. But there we go, Melly. So people are getting in touch. It's great to see, of course.
Absolutely.
And the conversation continues.
As said, we love reading from you guys. So head over to Twitter, to Facebook, send us messages, tweet us by using the hashtag WGLEU. And of course, well, comments are always nice to see and nice to have. And if you want to contact us directly, you can find our Twitter names in Twitch chat, to which I want you guys I want to invite you guys as well, because our Twitch chat is really nice. I can barely talk English today.
We actually have
Twitch
some amazing mods as well. Shout out to Happy and Nikibu and Co.
Yes, and it's always nice and calm in there. You guys are awesome. So join our Twitch chat and talk to us. We love reading from you. And as I said, we'll be heading into a short break. 5 minutes it is, and then we'll be back with Penta versus DiNG on Mines as the second map of the night.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the WGL EU Match Week 10, Day 1. We are already into this one, of course, and Penta are starting to flail a little bit against DiNG. They do pick up one round, not much more than a consolation on Himmelsdorf. They would have liked to, of course, performed with at least a 2-2 result now as we move on to Mines, which is DiNG's pick. But hey, they still have chances to bring this one back.
Yeah, of course they do. I mean, we've seen it time and time again where teams come back from a 3-1 deficit. But I think, you know, Penta had plenty of chances. I think they only have themselves to blame in that first map, Himmelsdorf. Now, it's of course very risky stuff for Penta. You know, Mines typically at the beginning of the season was Penta's basically only pick. They only picked this map. Super aggressive with the T-54s on the hill, super aggressive in general. Basically never worked. I think they got 30% win ratio on this map with 10 rounds played. So if they continue with that trend, which just doesn't work, let's be honest, it just doesn't work, that super aggressive style in defense and attack, I think this is going to be DiNG walking away from this match.
Virtus.pro made their life hard for Penta on this map, of course. And, you know, DiNG with a bit of confidence here as well. I mean, the Himmelsdorf play was good. We've already seen that one in the past. And now for them to sort of move on towards this map, which was one of their choices as well, something that they are confident on as well. I feel good about DiNG here, especially they're moving on the attack side as well. And they only need 2 rounds to win it. So if these 2 attacking sides are as in their favour as we might have thought beforehand, they'll take it out 5-1. Melly, of course, now onto the second map. Vote is closing soon, so people still have a chance, though, to put their predictions in.
Exactly. As soon as we start with the second map, the vote will be over. So as soon as you guys see us starting with the second map, because we'll be 5 minutes ahead of you, and the current vote is 50-50, so very little time left to get your predictions in over at facebook.com/WGLEU. Click on the posting, like on the first posting on our timeline, or the team vote button right above the timeline to get forward to our app where you can vote for your favorite team and predict the exact scoreline in order to maybe win one of 3 bonus codes.
That's right. Of course, your odds are better now of predicting that scoreline as we are already a few rounds in here. So that being said, if you get your vote in first, like you were saying, Melly, the earlier you get it in, and if you get it correct, you win. Or you have a better chance of winning at least. So there's something to be said for committing to a bit of a scoreline here. Commit to a scoreline, Ollie.
I hope Penta fix their issues on mine, so I'm going to say 5-2.
Melly.
5-2 for Penta?
No, for DiNG.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would have been my guess as well.
All right. Well, that's obviously if Penta don't fix their issues on Mines. Let's have a look at the video, of course. Mines it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Mines, a small summertime map with lots of hills, rocks and other cover. The teams start the battle in the usual locations. But the base locations are different. One is located in the bottom part of the village and the other one is in the water. The key directions here are the hill and the island. That's why the teams will often select fast vehicles and tanks with strong turrets.
Waste no time here as Penta are already moving up on towards the hill. On the defensive side, they're taking this one away from DiNG. They're going to try and take the game by the horns and see what they can do with it here. As the Dead Zone already getting up into position. Some damage on towards Diplomat as well. Going to make his life hard as Mr. Rakar, or Murakar, as he did ask me to call him, is going to have to group up with his team a little bit more. Penta, great exchanges in the early stages of this round. And Fluky and Messick are holding as well. This is hard for DiNG to push onto the hill. They can't go head-to-head with the lightweights because those IS-3s are watching them like hawks.
This is a great start for DiNG, for Penta. They're doing everything correctly. They got the IS-3s hold down, you know, not with the full T-54s. And that T-37 from behind is really too late for the party.
Oh my god, it's working out so nicely for him here in Meritorious on the 1390, trying to do some work. Did manage to get up behind. So is a T-37. This is where Penta might fall over if they're not careful. It's a traffic jam if I've ever seen one here. As the Dead Zone and Raven now have been able to push off the hill. The Dead Zone will clean up. Diplomat and Rukara is going to be surrounded right now. Meritorious and Shockish out towards the back, but the damage has been done. Surely enough, the vitals from DiNG have been cut off here, and now their tanks are going to be surrounded. Look at this. Penta only losing that one tank in the start. One of the IS-3s. That Wolfpack of 54 lightweights is out for blood here. Shockish will get his consolation on towards Raging Potato if he's lucky to avoid those shots coming in towards him. He's a speedster in that tank. But Raging Potato is trying to get back towards his team and force Shockish to move out towards the open if he wants to take him out with a shot. Oh, there it is! Raging Potato takes out Shockish in mid-air, baby! That's what I'm talking about.
Dukes
what a great way to do it. Oh, brilliant. That should be on RNG, mate. That was nice.
I love to see that stuff. I mean, a good shot by Raging Potato, but oh man, it's quality entertainment. He doesn't really get much better than that. As the dead zone just clean up with Meritorious falling. But yeah, I mean, what can you say? It's one for the highlight clips. It's definitely going to be on the. It's going to be on the highlight clip for Thursday's match days. Fantastic work by the Raging Potato.
Ridiculous. I mean, it didn't have a huge bearing, of course, on the on the way the map was going to go. So we won't try and highlight it too much here. That was quick. Very, very quick. Movements on towards that hill as well from the defensive side. And we've said this before, sometimes it's not the best strategy to give up the hill. We often say that, yes, the defensive team is going to be slower to get there. But they really hauled bollocks up there. Got up on towards the hill and made it extremely hard, I guess, with setting those IS3s back in towards the middle of the map.
Like that one. Yeah, but you can see, I mean, I said this before, if you are on the defensive side and you get the hill, like, it's so hard to win on the attack. And you can see as well, you know, DiNG haven't played around on a league match on the attack, and I think they're expecting, you know, maybe a train for a slower kind of exchange. But you know, Penta super aggressive on the hill, not quite as aggressive they have been in the past. Like, they haven't got the full T54 lineup like they did, you know, in their 10 rounds prior. They did have 2 IS3s, which were really the thing that did the most damage. You know, they did play a massive role. The dead zone did 1.6k, Messigan as IS3 did 1.5, but they also provided a good amount of you know, just blocking ability and, you know, soaking a lot of damage from Meritorious from behind.
And yeah, of course, here's that clip we saw. Shockey's just getting utterly wrecked. See you, mate.
I love that Raging Potato doesn't even die, because, you know, if that tank lands on top of you, it's going to squash you. He even managed to avoid that. So Shockish didn't line it up correctly and got wrecked by Raging Potato. It's great to see that IS3 player, you know, actually picking up an artillery and doing good work. He did 800 damage that round.
Yeah, he did. You know, and to be fair, it was a really, really nice setup for Penta. As we said before, they kept the bulk of DiNG's force from being able to push on towards the hill, because to do so, they'll be double tapped by some BL9s. Sure. It's not going to be fun at all. Yep. So they go into that fight on the hill at an extreme deficit already. It's not going to work out. I mean, should they have split off? Could they have thought a bit more about the islands? Was it...
Well, they did go for the islands. They had the IMX 3090 come around from behind. They did. They had Shockish and the T37 come back from behind. But again, you know, DiNG were constantly losing this exchange. They were trying to exchange against Penta's T54s on the hill, and they were just losing time and time again because they were turning their turrets towards the T54s, and then you had Messick and Fluky with the IS3s just going up, getting those BL9s into the sides of those tanks and just doing, you know, good work. So yeah, I think it all just fell into place for Penta, and maybe that 5-2 scoreline was a little bit harsh for me. I think they might have a little bit more up their sleeve on mines.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, you did say though, you do hope that they sort of fix up their issues here as they move on towards mines. And as you said, DiNG on the attacking side haven't played that yet this season.
They haven't played it. They've only played on the defense. Yeah, okay, they've won 3 out of 3 rounds, but it's not saying that much. 3 rounds. You know, we're in match day 10. You know, we're basically 90% through the season. Yep. And, you know, it does say, you know, you can play your Ruhenberg and Himmelsdorf time and time again, but if you get to the playoffs, you get to the finals without playing a league match and, you know, a proper amount of league matches in these kind of more, you know, external kind of maps like your mines, then you could be in real trouble.
Well, absolutely. I mean, the fact that they have chosen, of course, mines as a map would imply that there is something there. They are wanting to bring a particular strategy online or something of that sort here. So we'll have to see how that develops. Now, on the attacking side, they have a chance for those kind of setups, and that's generally what we want to see from teams like that. But again, they need the chance to be able to execute that. They got the rug pulled out from under them, essentially, from Penta setting up there. And we're going to have to see exactly how it works. Now, we, of course, are into our next round here. Let's see if Penta can continue to start to make these points up that they lost on Himmels.
I think they've got a good chance to win 2 defensive rounds, actually. I mean, they've won 50% in this whole season. They've generally been pretty good. So, I don't know. I think they have a good chance. Let's see what DiNG actually do. I think they're going to go for the hill very, very heavily, but Penta are set up perfectly to actually exchange here.
Oh, Shockish takes a big hit there. So a couple did miss, though, and there's good response, in fact, from DiNG. So, to be fair, that's not bad. They don't lose too much for being able to get up on towards that hill. Messick and Fluky were a little bit late to the party, couldn't contribute with those 120mm as well. So let's see, though. I want to push up this hill. Hacky one on the side. It's just going to be absorbed by his tracks here. And Penta They want to take this hill. They want to go head-to-head here, Ollie.
This is a risky move for them. They've got the IS-3s going first, which is, of course, the best idea, but Penta really are going for it.
That Stoic is now got to be caught out in front, takes a lot of damage. Response isn't bad from the lightweight squad there as Haki goes down to half health, but those IS-3s are there. They can soak up some damage here big time. Fluky forced to back away here, and the artillery shot is not going to quite connect on towards the dead zone there. And that was Diplomat trying to get some work done as Shockish does get the dispatch on towards Fluky. Hulknick attracting a lot of attention right now as he draws the entirety of Penta around that corner in that counterclockwise direction. And DiNG have to group up together here. Penta have the muscle here, they have the numbers, and they're pushing forward. Diplomat hasn't been able to do too much in this round, and he needs to do more. It's tough when he's in that artillery, I understand, but Bakushan now is going to get jumped on towards. Rukar is there in that 54 lightweight as well. It's a mess, it's an absolute bloodbath, but Penta, they're writing their name in it here, and they're going to make things hard for DiNG to decent lead. It's a 3v2 situation here. The FV304 Raging Potato is out towards the back. He can contribute here, but Raven's been cut down. I mean, in seconds, a matter of seconds. Penta now not looking so good. Hulknick's a one-shot, but he puts one in towards Raven here. This is going to go so close.
This is unbelievably close. I mean, this could be a win for DiNG. They've actually come back into this round so well. Diplomat is in the game with that M44, doesn't manage to connect onto Raven though. So you got an artillery piece for both teams and a T-54 for both teams. Both of the T-54s as well are a one-shot, but still, you know, Raging Potato, he's got a better angle in that artillery. He's a better artillery to deal the kind of damage which Hulknick's on. I would prefer to be in Penta's shoes right now.
This is so important. This play right here, Hulknick versus Raven. Raven just avoids yet another shot from the M44. Hulknick so far is not really looking for the engagement. He stayed safe. It's the old Mexican standoff here. Both of these tanks are a one-shot. Both of these tanks are ready to fire, but they're just waiting for the opportunity to do so. This is the Ilian Povil kind of thing. This is super important right now. And even Raging Potato now is on the move and at FV304. He's moving from south to north, but so, of course, is Diplomat. These artillery are going to get involved in the fight as well.
This is going to be unbelievable. I mean, Raging Potato should be able to win the exchange against Diplomat, but he might not actually kill him. I mean, the artillery piece doesn't do very much. You can sort of see he had 4 shells. He shot 4 shells and did manage to do more than 400, 500 damage. So,
what is going on here? The shots have missed here. Hulknick now is going to be caught out. Raven gets the shot. The bounce comes from Hulknick. He could have had the finish there, but Raven misses his shot as well. What is going on? This is ridiculous. Raven gets the finish though, and now Diplomat has to reload. He doesn't have much time here, and I think he's going to get cut down. There's the shot. Raging Potato will get involved. He could go for a ram right here. Diplomat is going to miss that shot at close range, and Penta Sports just bring it back. That was an epic standoff between those guys. A comedy of errors as well. Some big mistakes happen, but Penta, as the smoke clears, well, they're barely standing, but they are on their feet.
Unbelievable. I'm kind of disappointed that Raven didn't let Raging Potato get that last kill, because that would have been a proper 360 no-scope headshot kind of moment. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing, you know, that artillery place, the FV304, they both had the same idea, but you saw Raging Potato managed to get in there first. He did such a good job against the T-54. He missed his first shell, but he was on the move. Diplomat missed his shell, and then Raven was just a beast as well to give him some support. So great work from the FV. That's exactly what you need from an artillery player.
I'm not sure, did the FV do any damage in that engagement? I don't know if any of those artillery did damage once they got into that fight.
No, he did no damage.
So both of them just missed everything pretty much, but they were there anyway, and it was a distraction.
I mean, to be fair, like Diplomat missing, I mean, he's got a howitzer, which is not good at close ranges anyway. Super inaccurate, really low, really slow, not really slow, mediumly slow aim down time. So fair enough, Diplomat misses everything. But Raging Potato, you know, he did his job. He was that second guy which you saw Diplomat had to turn his turret to deal with, which gave Raven like a 1 or 2 seconds window just to peek and do the damage. But still, this round should have been Penta's from the beginning. You can see there almost 1,500 hit points up. They kind of let it slip halfway through. They let Diplomat get into his own game. Of course, you know, Mr. Ricard doing 2.1k, Diplomat doing only 697.
So look,
sorry, it was Hulknick, not Diplomat, my bad.
He drew the shot from Hulknick here as well. Hulknick now gets a second shot. He could have had Raven. He fires that shot, but it bounces off the front. Raven misses his shot. Raging Potato.
Yeah, but this is brilliant. Like, that kind of shell is super flick shot, and it really goes really well. So, I mean, massive congratulations to Penta. That's the kind of individual skill they needed on Himmelsdorf.
So close. It really does not get any closer than that. And now we're at a 3-3 here. DiNG faltering. After a great start here, the attacking side, it was their choice. They have got 0 from 2 on the attacking side on Mines here, and Penta now smelling that they might have an opportunity here. This has been their opportunity. As you said, this is a map that kind of they were always going for early in the season. It's one they're confident on, and DiNG might have just worked their way into a bit of a trap here.
It'll be pretty ironic if Penta actually qualify for the playoffs via Mines, which is maybe one of the reasons why they are sitting in 7th and not in like 5th or 4th, because at the beginning of the season they chose Mines over and over again and lost over and over again. Yeah. So it'd be pretty ironic, but they are looking fairly good, and you know, I give them a good chance right now. But they have to go on the attack now, which is, you know, the side which hasn't been doing too good for them. Yeah. They haven't won a single round this season on the attack yet, so they've got a lot of work ahead of them.
Absolutely. I mean, they seem to understand the map as well. The defensive play was good, and they even had some sign of aggression. And one thing about Penta, yeah, it's been an up and down season for them, but they have always been the team to change things up, to go for alternate strategies, just to try and take the enemy team sort of off guard. And I mean, this time it's definitely worked out. That was just ridiculously close. That's another highlight clip as well. Man. We've got so many of them, 2 for 2, man. And they're all involving artillery.
So good. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, artillery. I was in all the highlight clips as well. I mean, with my amazing shots. So
oh, God.
I'm joking, of course. Pretty mediocre, if you ask me. But yeah, I think artillery brings some spice to the game. It really is good to see. And let's see if it can be equally as entertaining as Penta do push for that hill.
All right, new multi-show here, not on an autoloader. He's on that 54 lightweight here with the rest of the crew. So 5 of them pushing up towards a hill. 5 of them take that hill. And Messick is going to sit back in that IS-3 to watch the push here. It looks like DiNG want to go head-to-head here. This is going to force Penta off the hill if they're smart. And
so many IS-3s. 4 IS-3s pushing on the hill. That's going to be really hard for Penta to actually take down, as Messick is also locked down by the T-54s.
I don't know why, but Penta is still sitting on the hill here. A lot of damage going in towards Stoik here. Great damage, in fact. But Messick's going to get jumped on by a lot of 54s here as well. Both IS-3s, or at least IS-3s on both teams, are taking significant damage and not returning a heck of a lot either. Fluky onto Stoik, Bakusiat onto Messick, and now we do have the 6v6 unfolding for us. Meritorious on reload, forced to back away. New multi-show and Fluky around the corner. It looks like DiNG want to group up. They want to push on towards this hill in numbers.
The thing is, if DiNG stay there, you'll just see Raging Potato and the M44 really start to work on the IS-3, so they have to push.
Mr. Carr bouncing a shot off his side there, quite fortunately. And it was Raven not being able to connect with that one there. Diplomat gets chunked down. So much damage now. Mr. Carr, Meritorious coming forward on those IS-3s. You can see the 254 lightweights here. Diplomat and Hulknik beleaguered, running low on health here. And the multi-show and Fluky able to do a lot to them right now. Shots coming in from Raging Potato and Shockish, not really connecting to a great degree so far. And Penta, well, they're down in health, but they're up in tanks. This is going to work out for them in the long run. If they can deal with these IS-3s, they must play around these well. They must group up here, and even Hacky, he senses that. He's getting up on towards the hill. He's getting involved now. Meritorious will drop. Mrakar won't be too far behind as Bakushat is forced to try and come around, try and get the finish on towards dead zone. The shot coming in from Shockish, he's not going to connect, and that lightweight's going to be able to get another shot. That's crucial for Penta, and they will be able to turn this one around.
This is definitely going to be Penta's game. They're playing so well. HP's pretty close because, of course, Bakushat's got a lot of HP on that IS-3, but he's got 4 T-54s to deal with.
Oh, well, there it is. Shockish now left on his own here, moving up. We sort of move up in towards this rocky position here that we saw Raging Potato use earlier on.
We need a montage to win this, though.
He gets the finish on a new multi-show. Only 597 damage dealt for him, so not the gain you really hope to have in those FVs. And now Raven's going to spray one as Shockish looked for him now as well. It's going to have to be a tough shot to make. He won't connect it. Raven will be able to get a shot on towards him. So, I mean, Penta now, this is great stuff from them. This is excellent. This is the turnaround we're talking about.
Awesome stuff. I'm loving this from Penta. This is the Penta we needed from the beginning of the season. On Mines, just playing so well. I mean, it's a bit of a shame that they didn't do this at the beginning, you know, when they were really down on the round. So, it again shows that, like, you know, they're 1-3 down and then they can come back to win. We've seen it time and time again. I think Penta right now, they have a win on the attacking side finally. They have both defensive sides, so they really are in a good place. They got the momentum going for them. And to be fair, you know, DiNG, they haven't been, you know, all that able to finish these rounds. They've been close time and time again, but they've always been at a disadvantage.
We might see the sweep here indeed, but let's see the push on towards the hill. A little bit chaotic, Ollie, as all of DiNG trying to force them off.
Yeah, the thing is, you know, this is really, really careless move from DiNG. You know, Penta's super ready for this. They have tanks behind rocks in all sorts of awkward positions. I mean, the dead zone's just a beast with this T-54, constantly exchanging well, did 2.3k damage. So, you know, he's the reason why they won this. I like the play for New Multi-Show as well. Seeing on the back lines, actually being a pest to DiNG. And yeah, they're IS-3s. I can see why, you know, DiNG picked them. They just wanted to overmatch Penta in damage and HP. But Penta just coming from every angle, punishing the IS-3s from the side, making it awkward for them, punishing the IS-3s for the fact they have a slow turret rotation. And also, you know, you can see Raging Potato, yes, he did 0 damage, but I could see that the way DiNG were playing is that they were constantly aware and constantly moving away from where Raging Potato could shoot, which is also a problem.
Yeah, that's right. They had to be. You know, they were set up on the hill, you know, just as they worked their way up towards the other hill, so in the middle of the map, and they knew they had to push here. They either push or they back off and try and work around PENTA on that hill, because they knew that they were going to be in trouble from the artillery coming down towards them. It's such an exposed position on the map to be in when you know what your opponent is bringing into the game. Conversely, PENTA were quite protected from the artillery off DiNG, because they could use that sort of that center hill in the middle of the map. There are so many hills here. But yeah, the outcrop in the middle of the map to protect them from a lot of those shots. They could stay mobile in those lightweights. It was fairly easy. Whereas DiNG were fighting up a hill, slows them down, of course. IS-3's not the most nimble tank in any sense of the word. But we do have the 4-3. PENTA turning this one around. Will we see the 4-4? I mean, will we see it work that way? I mean, I really don't know here. This has been such a fantastic start from PENTA here. I mean, Melly, the reverse sweep, it's possible.
It's absolutely possible. I asked it like 10 minutes ago, people, for everyone that just tuned in, if it's possible to come back from a 3-1 deficit on the map. The team, which is having that deficit at this moment, has chosen as the first one. Now the second one was DiNG's choice, and it works perfectly fine for PENTA, as it seems. And the vote is close. It ended 50-50. I said a lot of 5-3 endings have been predicted from the sides of the community, and we're currently working on it, as it seems.
Crazy.
Straight.
We would not have thought that after Himmelsdorf as well. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
But the vote, so
it's
even.
possible.
Yeah, super
it's
even.
possible.
I mean, it's kind of surprising because, you know, PENTA's been around for a long time, and they have a lot of fans, but it seems like DiNG, they've been, you know, active in social media and video making. They've actually got themselves, you know, quite a following.
Absolutely. Let's hope they're fans. They're going to need them to get over the line here.
True, true. So people, the vote has sadly closed. As said, it will always close right before heading into the second map of the matchup where you have to predict the score for. And of course, Twitter is still open. Twitter never closes. The Twitter universe is Twitterverse. We had it right last week. The Twitterverse is always open for your thoughts and for your predictions. So use the hashtag WGLEU to get yourselves involved and to see what other fellow tankies do post on Twitter. Just search for that hashtag as well. It works in reverse and in proactive. So that hashtag is brilliant. Hashtags are awesome. Hashtag.
Yay, hashtag.
I want to say
don't ever do that again.
Hashtag.
No.
But that's how you do it. Hashtag.
Hashtag.
Yeah, that's all.
When Twitter first came out, everyone was like, hashtag, hashtag. I was like,
maybe we're
a bit awkward. A bit cringy.
I don't know.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, I think that's like if you...
You can't stop
Today's
social
hashtag
media.
should be Raging Potato 360
Oh,
no-scope
yes.
headshot.
I actually got a screenshot of it and I posted on Twitter. So head over to twitter.com/WGLEU to relive that moment in form of a... Yeah,
Super HD, relive the moment.
Brilliant.
I should do movie
You know,
trailers.
we really need like a video done of like Snoop Dogg in the corner like this.
I'm
like,
trying to work
the frog
it.
like deal with it from that shot. Hit markers.
Yes.
What we really need
Yes, everything.
is a gif of you doing this.
I
That's what
bet
we really
someone out there can do it. So the VODs will be online surely within the next days.
Yeah.
And we wait for that GIF.
All right. Well, while we wait, we are into, of course, potentially the last round here. PENTA at match point. This is incredible from them. They can make the 4-0-1 mine. This would have been absolutely massive. But DiNG, they surely will have something to say about here. The push on towards the kill. This time not so successful for PENTA as Fluky's forced to repair his tracks and get up there. And the dead zone does take a bit of a hit as well.
That was great from PENTA. I mean, not only did they manage to get on the hill without receiving too much damage, but they also managed to put all their damage onto one tank of DiNG, which is exactly what you don't want. So you can see DiNG, I thought they would be kind of passive with the Object 416, but they are being aggressive. And to be fair, it's been 3 out of 3 rounds where they've been aggressive and failed.
They've got 2 of them as well here, Meritorious and Diplomat on those 416s. Let's see if it works out for them here when they get head-to-head on the hill. Bakushia takes a big hit as he tries to work his way up. He responds on towards Fluky, but he's on reload now, and he is low. The dead zone surely will be looking for the finish momentarily. At least another shot to get that extra damage across the line. Meritorious down to half health as well as Mrakar and Hulkvik split off from the main force here. Go hunting for Raven and Hacky. They can back off the hill if they need to. If PENTA, are at too much risk, they can just get out here as Meritorious now looking for the dead zone. The dead zone just scoots down that hill. He's going to have his tracks damaged and forced to repair them on the spot.
Unbelievable. Raging Potato's been hitting so many shells with artillery, but obviously it's just not penetrating. Heat is not going through, and that's really causing problems for Penta.
Diplomat able to turn on towards the dead zone in that 4-1-6. He doesn't have a full range of tower rotation, but it's still enough. But New Multishow gets the finish on towards him now. It's a 5v4 situation.
Hacky,
DiNG
man.
have the advantage, but it is a slim one as it gets even up there by New Multishow. Shot onto Morse Ricard. You can always count on New Multishow to bring it back when it matters.
Man, Hacky was just sitting in a great position, just really being a pest to DiNG. He was doing so much damage. He's kept his team in the game, but he is completely even Stevens. I want to see if they actually can stay and try and win this one. They've lost that artillery. That's thanks to Shockish and that T21. So at the moment, Penta are ahead, but not by much.
Stoic is looking scary now, bearing down towards New Multishow, and then IS3, and he gets a big hit. Meritorious will try and find the finish here if he can get up on towards the hill, but he can't because the turret of the 416 is mounted at the back of the tank. He needs to get up higher. It's not a good gun depression, and New Multishow's able to get the finish now. Hacky, Messick moving up here as well, looking for Stoic. They're going to try and team up on towards him, and this is going to be hard for the IS3 player to deal with. Hacky, though, will be a one-shot due to the shot put into him from Hognick here. But Stoic's looking the wrong way. He's looking for Hacky, but Hacky's protected behind those hulls here, and Messick puts one in towards Stoic. Hacky may be able to get the finish if he can get a decent roll. 263 health, left on IS3, 3 health short, but Stoic now will get rammed. Well, no, won't be enough damage from Messick now as he looks towards Hognick. Hognick will go in. He does take a shot from Hacky there. Messick forced to use his shot. The 1v1, but Messick has the advantage. Hognick is a one-shot here, but the shot from Hognick is not able to connect.
But Messick is actually so much slower than that T54. He has to hit the shell.
Oh, Hognick gets around the corner. Only just this man. 13 shots, 10 hits. So much damage from him, and the same could be said from Messick. Both these guys have been massive, but bear in mind that Messick here is on the attacking side, so he needs to go. He needs to get the cap points started off here, and Hognick just needs to stay alive and interrupt the cap. This has been an amazing match, and this is going to be an exciting climax. Intense stuff here.
Unbelievable. I mean, Hacky played so well to, give his team this advantage, but Messick playing the IS3, he's doing it right, he's playing that hill, very experienced player. Remember, he was the team captain, the shot caller for Drooling Leprechauns and Freefall prior to that in Season 4, so, but
that's
300 damage, that's a huge amount of damage.
And it
doesn't help him out, and he's been spotted, but that's a good thing for Message. He knows where Hognick is, he's going to go for that cap, but that was careless play from him for sure.
The problem is when you're a heavy tank and you take falling damage, right, it's increased via your weight. So the way he hit the ground, it was not good. There are ways to get off that hill far safer.
You slide from the side. You just slide down like like you would roll down a hill. But obviously, he didn't want to do that. But the cap is on the way. This is a good play from Messick. This side is a lot easier to cap than cap number 2. Obviously, cap number 2, you can get shot from above. You can get shot from the north. There's a couple of bushes. You can get shot from the south. There's a couple of bushes, and also that lighthouse island. So this is good for Messick. He is playing for that hill. Hognick knows he needs to come from the hill or from the south to actually get this one right. But still, he only needs to get one reset.
Correct. Messick has 902 health points here. So Hognick knows, realistically, he can't get the kill going head-to-head unless he plays very, very cleverly here. So he wants to get a reset from distance and then be able to back away behind a rock and make it hard for any returning shots to be made here. So Messick now, his positioning on the cap is crucial right now. It is so important where he's set up. Because
Messick is spotted now.
Yeah, he's spotted, and Hognick is not. This is crucial. This reset comes in. I mean, Messick has his rear end facing towards Hognick, and this has been perfectly played out by the 54 lightweight player here from DiNG, but he wants to wait it out a bit longer. He wants to make it so Messick won't have enough time to get the cap, and he wants to just bleed it down, I think, under a minute? Or under a minute 20, I'm not sure here. But Messick does have his turret turned backwards, but he can't see Hognick, and he is perpetually lit. Oh, the shot comes in, it doesn't connect!
He knows where it's from. That's a T-54's inaccuracy, so Messick just has to get out. He has to avoid that shot, but he doesn't. It doesn't do any damage. This could be Messick pulling out a win for this, for Penta. Unbelievable.
Incredible. Messick now can set up around the side of the hill. He can get around the corner. He knows where Hognick's going to come from. Hognick doesn't have time to make a change in position. He can't maneuver on towards the hill. He can't come from behind here. Messick can set up here and look towards Hognick. No one is lit right now. No one. Messick is first lit. He's a heavy tank. He won't be able to spot Hognick as quick as Hognick can spot him. But Hognick had to connect. He doesn't connect the shot. Time ticks down. 4 seconds left in this one. Hognick, he'll have one more shot. One more shot. Everything matters. He did. Yes, he got it. Did he actually reset him?
He got it. He got on the track at 0.
Wow. Wow, 50 seconds left in the game, and Messi can't complete the cap. He has to go for the kill. He has to find Hocknick here, and Hocknick is going to try and get away from him. This is incredible stuff here. Messi is going to try and get up close. He's going to have to go for a shot on the move here, I think, with that BL9. And that's not really great accuracy here, but he's doing well. Look at his movements across that minimap. He's going to be able to cut Hocknick off if he keeps going in this direction, but Hocknick is going to get on the far side of that island. He's going to try and hide behind it and stay alive for 25 seconds.
He's not going to be able to do it. There's no way Messi's going to be able to spot Hocknick and take him down. Hocknick's playing it right. Messi's just cutting the map in half, trying to do as much as he can, but the IS-3 just doesn't have the V range to be able to compete with Hocknick as Messi makes his last-ditch attempt to try and kill him.
Unbelievable. Hocknick now knows he survived. DiNG have done it. They've kept themselves in this one by some incredible play from Hocknick. So clever. And he got so unlucky as well with those shots. How did he get a full reset with a shot towards the tracks?
He hit the tracks. It's damage. That's damage done. It's all you have to do. First shell missed. Second shell did hit the side of the space arm of the IS-3. Third shell did no damage at all. It hit the armor on the front of the IS-3 and just evaporated the shell. Fourth shell and final shell at 0 when the cap was 0. I mean, we're talking about 0.5 of a second until PENTA actually walk away with a win and the 3 points they desperately need. And he managed to hit that last one onto the tracks, which he knew was his only chance. And you're talking about a T54 lightweight here. Hardly an accurate tank.
I cannot believe it. I've never seen this before. The last second, the very last second, it couldn't have been left any longer. We thought it was over. We thought it was done. Obviously, when you do get the cap, it has to stay at 100 for 1 second. Yeah. So that's how the numerical system works with it here.
It has to go. There has to be an exclamation mark. You don't see it with the UI, but in game, there's obviously that exclamation mark. As soon as that is hit, the cap can no longer be reset, but we can have a look at these final incredibly close moments between Hocknick and Messig. Ironically, you know, we've had these one-on-one exchanges, you know, back and forth between these two teams. PENTA 1-1 and now DiNG 1-1. And to be fair, you know, that last shell from Messig trying to go across, trying to hit DiNG, trying to hit Hocknick as he was coming off that hill. You know, that was the one, that was the crucial one where PENTA let it go. They let that advantage go. And Messig just, you know, was on the back foot the whole time.
I mean, this is where we thought he had it. He moving across here, he was protected. This is was going to force. Well,
I thought Messig would go further back. You know, he'd just go as far back, but he's trying to use the hill as cover. But you know, the thing is, Hocknick with that T54 lightweight's got good V range. IS-3's only got 330 meters, so it's nothing. You know, barely anything.
Yeah, there's no way he would have spotted him here as well. I think one square on the map is how many meters? On mines, it's.
Well, mine's is 600 meters by 600 meters.
So there you go. So it's not great. He wouldn't have been able to spot Hocknick here as well. There was the reset. Just got it there in towards that track. No damage was done. It was damage to modules, so it still does count in the sense of a reset here. It couldn't have been any closer.
Man, it was unbelievable. I mean, to be fair, like, you have to say, you know, PENTA's individual skill on mines has been staggering. The T54s have been in great work. Hacky, man. Hacky, the guy who's got so much abuse in Season 5 and Season 6 was unbelievable this game. Yeah. His individual play was on point. Like, there was no... it was flawless. There was no flaws in his play. Almost did 2,000 damage in his T54. Of course, Message you saw did 2.2k in the IS-3. So, you know, massive props to Hacky and DiNG, you know, keeping themselves in the game, being aggressive on the hill, wanting to go forwards, and, you know, just not quite managing to get the win more convincingly. And they did manage to get it now, but it will bring us into the tiebreaker. Yeah, crazy. I mean, important to note here as well that Rachel Potato, no damage for that game. So again, you know, 2 games in a row, so no damage. The thing is, he hit Meritorious in the 416, but, you know, like, it was heat hammer, so he only hit the side of the M416, did no damage. So you're talking about a very unlucky, but a very skillful Raging Potato. Yeah, I mean, 3 shots fired, 1 connected, 0 penetrations there. So rough for him. He's had some amazing shots. This game really didn't benefit him all that much here. It's unfortunate, of course. But we're going to be on to our tiebreaker map here. The first game of the day, one that we thought would be close. We had a feeling. Yeah. The votes definitely reflected it here. We're now 4-4. It's going to come down to steps. That final map here. PENTA will be starting on the defensive side. I mean, it's anyone's game. It really is. Yeah, I mean, PENTA, to be fair, like the defensive side on steps, I think it's pretty even. Steps is one of my favorite maps because it is so even. So it's totally in the hands of the teams who actually wins as one now. We have to look at this in the overall picture, though. We're talking about a potential playoff spot. PENTA in 7th, DiNG in 9th. Whoever walks over the 2 points, puts themselves into a decent position. Penta said, if we won 3 out of 3 matches in Super Week, we will be in those playoffs. We will be fighting for one of the 4 spots at the offline finals. Of course, first and second go automatically there, and then 3 to 6 have to play in those playoffs, which will be on the 29th and 30th. So we're talking about a lot on the line for both teams. You know, DiNG went into the season really wanting to, you know, make their mark on the Wargaming League Europe. Penta's been here for a while. They're the veterans, and it couldn't be any closer.
Oh, ridiculous. Melly, I mean, we're still catching our breaths here after that stuff. I mean, I've never seen this stuff before. This is incredible. Even you look shocked.
It's just the game of the season, it feels.
Yeah,
it's
definitely
crazy.
my favorite of the season so far.
It's crazy, and I'm currently rewatching the stream because it's so sick, and for everyone that just missed it, I'm so sorry for you because you missed an awesome game. But it's not at the end. The decider, it comes up, it steps. The vote, of course, closed right before the second map, the incredible second map Mines, and people wait for the VODs if you missed it. I am so sorry for it. I can't say it after that. I'm just seeing message chasing Hulknick, and yeah. Not winning.
It's funny. Sometimes
it's just crazy. In the Twitch, I was like, "Did he reset? Oh my god! Lol, 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 kappa, and everything."
Sounds like Twitch chat.
Yeah. I mean, and yeah, pretty much. And off the back of this kind of game, is where either of these teams could find themselves in position to be in the playoffs.
Yeah,
and we called it over after the first map almost.
We
like
5-2.
Me too. I thought.
What a bad prediction for
as
me.
Well.
The worst one. In my heart of hearts, I knew Penta was going to do better.
Bollocks.
We hoped. We believed.
BS.
We believed. Crazy. I refreshed my window. I didn't want to do that, but that happened. Oh my god. People, get your thoughts in by using the hashtag WGLEU over on Twitter. And as the teams get ready, just send us awesome stuff.
I think Melly was filming us when we were going nuts in that game.
I was trying to, but my mobile died. I was so sad because that was just crazy.
Yeah,
Ollie was just sitting like this in front of his monitor, and Mitch was just screaming and waving his fist at the monitor. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. He does it. He did it, and he does it when he gets excited. It's just I don't know. Yeah, it's just crazy. I was waiting for someone of you flipping the table over or something.
I tried, but maybe this one will make us flip the table. Of course, our tiebreaker map for this epic confrontation is going to be Steps.
Steps, the most open map of the league. The attacking team appears near the rocks at the bottom of the map, and the defending team starts at the top. Bases are located near the railway and on the green. The best way to control them is to use the lowland near the second base. The attacking team usually unfolds the attacks from the rocks and the railway, but sometimes they can attack through the green. Teams often drag vehicles from flank to flank, so both teams usually pick light setups, but sometimes use tanks with a strong turret, and even SPGs.
Okay, here it is. It all comes down to this one map. DiNG versus Penta, both on 4 here. DiNG attacking. Penta will defend. Winner takes all.
Let's get some stats up in this. First of all, both teams are literally the same on this map. 33% wins for DiNG, 28% wins for Penta. So a bad map for both. DiNG have played 12 rounds, and Penta have played 7. Of course, on the defensive side, it's even again. But you know, to be fair to DiNG, their results have been best on the attack, 50% won, so they do have a good chance here against Penta. But still, Penta on the easier side, the defense.
DiNG is setting up here. Going to be sending Pakushat up on towards that hill, which of course is used to make sure that flanking tanks aren't able to get up in DiNG's grill so easily here. So let's see, now as they spread out, the M44 for the most part is actually continuing on with the rest of DiNG, and they're just going to try and do work towards Penta here. Get that M44 in a good position, get some arty shots down, and make it so Penta aren't safe in that valley. They don't have a lot of cover from shots from an artillery piece like this one, but they do need to be lit up first. That is important. DiNG taking the artillery means they do not have the flexibility of that tier 6 light or anything like that, so they're going to have to spot the enemy the hard way.
Remember when they played against ASAP, like this was the artillery that really did, you know, win the rounds for them. I mean, you saw Diplomat hitting so many of those shells. He's a beast when it comes to those high caliber guns, those big damage dealers, you know. So That was on the defensive side, so I mean, it's a different kind of ball game, but still, I definitely say he's going to be a crucial part of this match. You do see some interesting lineups for Penta as well. They got the dead zone in the T69. I mean, a tank we've only seen a couple of times this season. Of course, you know, basically since that 50-50 minus penetration rebalance to the T69, we haven't seen it really featured in the Wargaming League as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, there was also, and it started with the changes to heat shell normalization as well, which made things just that little bit harder for D to connect on that 69. But still, 4-shot autoloader, definitely a bit of front-loader damage there. Has a quick reload as well, so definitely bonuses galore for that tank if you can use it correctly. Now, Rakar, he's the man. He's dancing right now, and that's what his team has asked him to do here as those blind shots do come thudding in towards the dirt. His job right now is to avoid those and get those capture points accrued on that tank. Remember, taking damage will reduce those, as we saw in that last round.
So this is an interesting start. I mean, of course, you know, DiNG going for the standard thing. They got the M44 set up in B1, B2. Now, that's good at the beginning of the round, but it doesn't really give you that much flexibility. Like, you're not going to be able to chuck it over that trade line without it getting spotted if Penta decide to go on the offensive. So I think this is like DiNG, you know, putting all their cards on the table and just saying, yeah, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do a standard Northern attack. And if it doesn't work out, we are going to lose this match. And if it does, you know, everyone's going to call us geniuses. So let's see how this one does end up unfolding. We got Penta just going for the blind shots. They still got time. They got the 2 T-54s down south as well in cap number 2, shooting through the middle, where that middle road is, and trying to connect on those blind shots.
Penta look nervous here. They look really nervous. Hacky is going to poke up in that 232 and spot Shockish, who's not on the cap here. So he's that forward tank, a bit of a diversion here. Penta are going to have to go a little bit deeper for the information, and that's Fluky's job here. He's going to move through. He takes a hit towards his ammo rack there as well. He's lucky to be alive. Does he get many spots? I mean, he gets Rakar spotted, and there it is. There's the shot down towards Rakar. He's going to drop down. Perfect track from Penta. They get that kill for only the loss of Fluky here. They've reset the cap, and now DiNG have to go to plan B.
Man, that T69 really did his job there. I mean, it can shoot so fast. I think it's like 2.5 seconds between shells, maybe even just 2 seconds. So it caught Mr. Rakar, and it just didn't let it out of its vice. So great play by Penta so far. They're a tank head, only just about ahead in damage, but DiNG are going on the offensive.
They're going to have to here. They have no other choice now. Shockish and Stoik are going to be pushing up. Not a lot of support with them yet. They need to wait for the rest of their team to group up. Hacky takes a shot in that 32, which he should not take if he's hulled down correctly. He wasn't. He's going to have to back off a little bit now. As Meritorious and Pakushat also going to come cruising over the hill here. Again, those 54 lightweights, Stoik and Shockish, need to get involved. They're going to be part of the second line here. Even Hulknik in the 251, not known as a brawler. He's going to try and get close and personal here with Penta. Let's see what they try and do. They might go for a surround. They might try and come from the south here. Hulknik crests up on the hill, gets a shot, and able to back away without any responsive damage.
The message is kind of out of the pack right now. He could definitely be in big trouble, and he is taken down pretty low.
He is low. He is very, very low here. This is incredible stuff right now that we are seeing. Hacky having to back away here. Meritorious going to be heading up on towards that hill. Raven takes more damage than he really should in this situation. Meshes goes down. Now Raven on the reload. He doesn't have a lot of health, and nor does New Multi-Show. He needs to get involved, but he gets obliterated from the map here as Hulknik gets the finish on towards him. Raging Potato trying to get back around the lines of DiNG here, trying to get some shots in from the rear. He does get one, but Pakushat has turned his head towards him. The dead zone is a one-shot. He's on reload in that auto-loading T69. He can't contribute right now, and Hacky is also on reload, and he's got 2 tanks to deal with here. Great overmatches from DiNG. They've done it. They've turned this one around. They look so strong after Himmelsdorf, but Mines, they got decimated on that one. It was Hulknik that kept them in this game. It was Hulknik that brought it back, and now they've made it through into the tiebreaker, and they've taken it 5-4. Again, but I think the 3rd tiebreaker win for DiNG out of 5 games, out of 5 wins, should I say? But they've done it. They have done it.
Heartbreak for Penta. Absolute heartbreak. They were winning that game. They took down Rakar. They took down that T-54. They got ahead in the game. They also had Diplomat in the artillery instead of an actual tank. So theoretically, DiNG pushing forwards, down 2 tanks. I mean, it shouldn't have been a win for them, but you saw Penta so far back, so timid to go forwards, not exchanging well, on the back foot, in the middle of that plateau. They just played it in the worst possible way, and they gifted that round. They sealed first-class stamp onto that packaging. Airmail straight to them. Not airmail. They specifically walk Penta's house to DiNG's house and handed the win over to them personally with a golden platter holding it in their hand. So, I mean, seriously, DiNG just managed to close it out in some serious spectacular fashion.
Absolutely
deficit.
stunning. This is the setup here. So Pekusiat initially was set up here towards the top of the hill. He was watching the defense here. Any sort of movements from Penta that were going to come from the south of the map. But Penta never really moved here. They just sort of stayed in that valley. And
yeah, that's the thing. You know, like Penta should have been aggressive. I mean, they saw DiNG coming towards them. Get that T69, get the T32 aggressive on the hill, and then as soon as DiNG start to crest, you have your 251 and your T54s. You just push straight over the deflate, straight over that hill, turn around, and then just engage onto a DiNG tank. It was Pekusiat, it was Pekusiat and Stoik who were together. They should have just gone straight over, engaged, got the overmatch, but they sat back and they let DiNG go hull down, and they let Diplomat work, who did, you know, a good, respectable 1.4k. That's 2 shells connected out of 3, which gave, you know, DiNG a good head start in terms of damage. Hulknik did 2.2k. Stoik did 1.5k, and Penta, you know, the only one who really did anything was Hacky in that T32 with 1.7.
Absolutely stunning here. And this is the setup here for DiNG, and you know, you can see them spread out at the top of your map. Penta look nervous.
Yeah, you can see Hacky, like, he should be way forwards where Messick is heading now. They should all been there and just ready and waiting, but you can see them kind of flexing around. But that's, of course, wasn't, you know, that was before the actual push, you know, came out.
And that was the shot that Ricard took here, and he actually got killed as he sort of backed away there. I mean, they looked nervous. Penta looked nervous. They kept relocating, kept moving around, kept shuffling. They weren't sure. They didn't have cover of the map. They had Fluky. They could have done some spotting if they wanted to, if they needed to. Yeah. Oh my God, what a stunning match here. Match of the season, I'm going to call that one here. Yeah, I feel fairly confident in saying that. So many plays, the thrills, the kills, the explosions, the exciting moments, and the very, very close finishes, and the heartbreak. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. When you have a team that, you know, is exultant on getting through, like DiNG have done, there's always going to be a team that is quite dejected about it. But you've got to give props to Penta here as well. Yeah. They're always a team that's going to mix things up here, and, you know, even if they don't make it through the playoffs as well, we really hope to see them next season, because they're going to go from strength to strength. They've got the pedigree, they've got the players, they've got the strategy here. It's just the execution that needs to be tightened up. Yeah,
I mean, they really had to do better on Himmelsdorf. Like, going 3-1 down on Himmelsdorf, it was just bad news. It gave, you know, DiNG some buffer zone. Yep. They came back on mines, fair enough, but they had a lot of work. And there were so many times in those maps where Penta were ahead. They just lacked that last little, you know, that last little spark to, you know, push them over the finish line. So, you know, they only have themselves again to blame for this loss.
And of course, a very warm welcome to our viewers. If you're a first-time viewer or someone just joining in, we've got some nice numbers tonight. Thank you for joining us, of course, and don't go anywhere, because our next match is going to be absolutely incredible, Melly.
Insanely. I mean, for everyone that just tuned in, as Mitch said, don't be sad, you missed a great match. I already said it after the second map, and I can't repeat it after the third map, the deciding map. People, rewatch this match the next few days on youtube.com/WGLEU, where we will upload our VODs. I'm so excited, I can barely talk. But yes, the next match, I hope it will be as good as the first one. It will be Utopia versus Casner Crew. The vote is already open, so head over to facebook.com/WGLEU and get involved. Vote for your favorite team, and get a chance of winning a bonus code. So just predict the exact scoreline for this matchup, for the upcoming matchup, in the text field below of our VooBox app. And then, well, if you're lucky, if you get the exact result, if you get it right and are one of the 3 fastest, you might win a bonus code. For everyone else who just want to tweet it to us and tell us what's on their mind or how they experienced the past match, use the hashtag WGLEU over at Twitter to tweet to us, to tell us whatever is going on. And as said, a short break. People, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 10 minutes with Casner Crew versus Utopia.